You've entered a quiet space, not just on your screen, but in your soul. This is your time, a moment carved from the chaos, a breath hidden inside the storm. For the next hour, we invite you to be here, truly, deeply, gently here. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath slow. Let your thoughts pause like falling leaves. The world moves so fast, but right now, there is no rush. Only water, only tea, only presence. The Japanese tea ceremony, also known as chanoyu, or the way of tea, is more than just brewing leaves. It's a ritual of awareness, a practice of patience, a quiet form of art. Today we'll walk that path together. We'll learn how to brew tea mindfully. We'll sit with the steam. We'll listen to the silence. And we'll drink poetry in every sip. Pause. Let the breath guide you. Inhale gently through the nose. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Feel your body relax. Let us begin with a verse, a tiny poem from ancient Japan written in 17 syllables. A haiku. Steam curls in silence. Bamboo bends to kiss the breeze. Peace begins with tea. Haikus are a way of capturing moments, not describing them, but entering them. Just like this one, this space, this breath. Look around your space, wherever you are. Let it become your tea room. It doesn't need tatami mats or scrolls, only intention, only presence. Perhaps light a candle, open a window, let nature join you. Even a single bird's song or a drifting cloud can become your guest. Take a moment now to gather your tools. You don't need much, just a cup you love, a teapot or even a bowl, a kettle, water, tea leaves, and your breath. The breath is your anchor. The tea is your companion. The ritual is the bridge between them. Gentle background sounds of water boiling begin to fade in. Can you hear the water preparing itself? The kettle hums a quiet song. The sound is ancient. The same music monks heard in mountain temples. The same breath your ancestors exhaled around a fire. Water, waiting. In stillness, it waits. A single drop from the sky becomes boiling breath. Let your hands move slowly now. Feel every gesture, the way your fingers wrap around the cup, the texture of the clay, the warmth, the emptiness waiting to be filled. What is tea, really? It is a leaf, it is a transformation. It is earth meeting fire, becoming air, returning as water. In this moment, your tea is not just a drink. It is a practice, a sacred rhythm. Boil, pour, wait, sip, stillness. Let go of expectations. There is no right way to hold the cup, no perfect temperature to chase, only presence, only awareness. Take a breath and another. Hands still, eyes lowered. Steam dances above still tea and I watch it float. Let your gaze soften now. As we begin this ritual, allow every sound to deepen your focus. The crackle of the kettle, the echo of your own heartbeat, the hush of your breath. Let nothing distract you. Instead, let it all be part of the ritual. A cough, a car outside, the hum of life, welcome it. Even in stillness, life whispers from every crack. Tea listens, not speaks. If your mind begins to wander, bring it back with a smile. Like calling a child back home. No judgment, no effort, just return. We'll spend the first part of our time preparing the tea, then we'll sit together in silence, and later I'll guide you into deeper meditation. But don't rush toward it. This hour isn't about reaching a destination. It's about staying where your feet already are, right here, right now. I pour, then I wait. The world does not ask me why, it simply exhales. You may already feel it, that gentle shift, the body loosening, the breath softening, the mind beginning to settle. In Japan, tea is often served in silence. not as a lack of sound, but as a presence of space. Each moment filled with meaning, each movement filled with care. We invite you now into that silence. Let it wash over you like warm mist. Let it open the door to a gentler way of being. Close your eyes for just a moment. Notice the space behind your eyelids. Can you feel the breath inside your chest? The air cooling your nose as it enters, the warmth as it leaves? This, right here, is the first sip of tea. It begins before the water touches your lips. It begins in the breath, in the body, in awareness. As we enter the next part of this journey, preparing the tea, carry this silence with you. Let your actions speak in poems. Let your hands move like water. Let every moment be enough. No words, just the leaves. Floating, steeping, becoming. And I become too.
Sit with me. No rush, no goal, no expectation. Just you, this breath, this tea. Today we drink slowly. We drink completely. We drink the moment. In the way of the ancients, in the spirit of stillness. Let us share this cup of silence. Haiku. The kettle murmurs, steam rises like old stories. The now takes a breath, pause. Let us begin, not with sipping, but with noticing. Notice the cup. Notice your hands. Are they tense? Let them soften. Notice your breath. Is it hurried? Let it flow. Touch the cup gently, feel its weight, its shape, its edge. Haiku. Cracked glaze on the cup echoes the wrinkles of age. Still it holds the tea. Pour the tea, quietly, mindfully, as if pouring peace itself. Listen to the sound. Even this is part of the practice. Pause, 60 seconds as tea is poured. Breathe in, feel the scent rising, grassy, smoky, sweet, each note a memory. Let the steam kiss your face, let it remind you this moment is alive. Now raise the cup, not to your lips, but to your heart. Bow to the tea, bow to the earth, bow to the gift of being. Now, sip, but do not drink, just hold it. Let the taste rest on your tongue. What do you notice? Warmth, bitterness, comfort? Haiku. Leaf to water falls. Time unwraps itself in sips. Tongue greets ancient fire. Now, Swallow slowly, follow the tea into your body. Feel it flow down your throat into the center of you. Smile gently, not for pleasure, but for presence. Pause. Now, as you hold your cup, watch your mind. A thought may come, greet it kindly, but do not follow. Let it pass like smoke in the breeze. Haiku. Thoughts rise, then vanish like dust on the morning breeze. Sip and watch them go. Return to your breath, to the cup, to the moment. Let the tea anchor you. Let it be enough. The tea has no past, no future, only now. Pause. Now sip again, feel the difference. It is not the same tea, you are not the same you. This sip holds new truths, new textures, new warmth. Where does it go? What does it stir? Haiku. Second sip deeper, tongue remembers, soul responds, the self melts away. Place your hand on your heart, feel it beating. That is your timekeeper, not your watch, not your phone. This, each beat, a bell of life. Bring your attention now to your spine. Is it upright? Is it relaxed? Let your body become a mountain, still, rooted, quiet. The tea travels down the mountain, into its core, into its stillness. Haiku. The spine like a tree. Tea flows through each rooted branch. Peace settles like moss. Feel your belly, soft, open. Feel your breath. Natural. 你放生 unforced. You're not drinking the tea is drinking you. Now for a while. Drink in silence. Sip slowly. Then rest. Observe without judgment. Feel without naming. Be without needing. The tea teaches us. It does not lecture, it does not argue. It teaches through warmth, through presence, through being enough. Haiku. In still liquid form, a lesson of deep silence, too quiet to miss. Consider all the people, and forces that brought this tea to you. The farmers, the sun, the rain, the soil. Honor them with every sip. Haiku. Your cup is nearly empty now. What have you received? Not just warmth, but awareness. Not just flavor, but stillness. Haiku. Empty yet so full, the cup now mirrors the self. Nothing more to hold. Take the last sip. Let it be a bow, a thank you, a farewell. And as you set the cup down, set down your worries, set down your past, set down your next. For now, you're complete. The tea ceremony ends, but your mindfulness need not. Let every act today be as slow, as sacred, as silent as this cup of tea. Walking, washing, listening, speaking. Do it like drinking tea. Haiku. Even without tea, the mind may pour stillness out, if the heart is calm. Thank you, dear one, for sharing this moment. Let the warmth remain in you. long after the tea has cooled. Go slowly, go gently, go now, with tea in your soul.
Once, hidden deep in the folds of the eastern mountains, there was a small temple barely etched into the side of the world. Moss grew thick on the stones, bamboo whispered with each breath of wind, and inside the temple, an old Zen master lived alone, except for the kettle that always sang. The villagers below called him the Silent One. He rarely spoke. When he did, it was only to say what needed saying, and often that was nothing at all. Each morning before the first light reached the valley, the Silent One awoke. His first gesture of the day was not prayer, nor breath, nor the stroke of a bell, but the boiling of water. For tea. To him, tea was not a drink. It was the practice itself, the moment itself, the path itself. He did not drink tea to awaken. He drank tea to remember that he already was. One morning, a young traveler came to the temple. She had walked far, with cracked soles and an anxious heart. She bowed at the gate and waited, and though she expected a bell or a chant, all she heard was the sound of water beginning to boil. "Come," said the Silent One without turning. She followed him into the room. No throne, no scrolls, no questions. Just 2 cushions and 1 kettle. He poured the tea, slowly, carefully, silently, and only after 3 sips did he speak again. "You came for answers," he said, "but you must first come to sip." The girl's name was Aya. She had questions, endless questions, about suffering, about desire, about purpose, about the aching weight in her chest she had carried since childhood. But she did not ask them. She waited. He poured her another cup. Again, silently. Steam curled like calligraphy. The room filled with no incense, and yet a fragrance rose from within, part vapor, part memory. "Do you taste it?" he asked. She nodded. "But what do you taste?" he asked again. Aya hesitated. She looked down at the humble cup in her hand. She tried to name the flavor: green, bitter, maybe sweet. She looked for words. "There are no words," she said at last. The master smiled, not with his mouth, but with the stillness of a pond when no stone disturbs it. Pause. have begun," he said. "To taste the tea is to meet the self." That day, Aya stayed, and the next, and the next. She had thought to return home quickly, but something kept her there. Or rather, something stopped her from continuing to run. Each day was simple: a walk at dawn, a sweep of the floor, silence during meals, listening to the rain, and tea. Always the tea. Days passed like dewdrops falling from a leaf, uncounted, unhurried. She learned that the master never rushed his tea, not because he worshiped ritual, but because he revered the moment. He told her once, while watching the snow settle in the courtyard, "To drink tea quickly is to chase life. To sip it fully is to realize it has already arrived." One afternoon, as the cherry blossoms fell, she asked him, "Master, why do you never speak during the tea?" He looked at her, not sharply, not softly, simply, fully, and then he said, "Because the tea is already speaking." She began to understand. The warmth of the cup in her hands was not just warmth, it was a teaching. The way the steam curled upward was not just steam, it was breath, rising and disappearing. The bitter note at the back of her throat was not just flavor, it was truth, unfiltered. The silence was not empty, it was full. With time, Aya became quieter, not out of restraint, but reverence. Her thoughts began to slow. The ache in her chest faded, not because it had vanished, but because she had stopped feeding it with stories. One evening, during a storm, she asked the master, "Why do I still feel sadness, even after all this peace?" He smiled, "Because sadness too must be sipped." It was not about avoiding sadness or achieving some glowing bliss. It was about being with whatever was there and seeing it clearly. Tea taught her that without teaching. Each leaf gave up its essence when the water touched it. No resistance, no holding back. Even the bitterness gave itself honestly. The master once held up a cup to the moonlight and said, "The leaf does not fear the hot water, because it knows only through the heat can it give its deepest flavor." Aya remembered that when grief returned, she did not run. She did not talk herself out of it. She made tea, and she sat, and she sipped, slowly, fully. And the sadness, like steam, rose and vanished. Over the months, Aya realized that tea was not something in a cup. It was everything. The wind through pine, the hush before dawn, the silence between words. Even pain, even that could be tea. If you sip it, if you stay, if you let it be. One day she said, "I think I understand now. Life is like the tea, fleeting, fragrant, always changing." He nodded, but then he said, Not quite. She looked at him puzzled. Tea is not like life, he said. Tea is life. They reached the top of the ridge. The valley stretched below. Mist moved like breath between the trees, and they drank in silence. Every sip, a breath. Every breath, a moment. Every moment, a life. You do not need to chase the path. The path is already underfoot. You do not need to silence the mind. Just listen as it quiets itself. You do not need to hold the joy. Just sip and let it pass through. The warmth in the cup is the warmth in your chest. The bitterness on your tongue is the truth in your bones. And the steam rising into nothing is everything you cannot hold and never needed to. In the end, Aya did not become a nun. She returned to the world, to the noise, the mess, the beauty. But every morning, she boiled water, and she listened to it sing. She still had questions, but she no longer needed answers, because each day she had the tea, and that was enough. Closing line, whispered, drink it slowly, sip the silence. You are already home. Let us begin. You are not here by accident. You have come to this moment as the leaf comes to the ground, softly, without force, guided only by what is. Sit down, you have arrived. In a quiet hut on a nameless hill, there lives an old monk. He is not famous, he has no followers. He wakes each morning with the sun and lights a small fire in the hearth. Then he prepares tea. Today you are visiting this monk. You are his guest, not for words, not for wisdom, but for silence. As you enter his wooden hut, the scent of pine welcomes you. The floor creaks gently beneath your feet. There is no rush here. Everything is already happening. He gestures for you to sit. A cushion awaits you near the window, where wind moves slowly through a bamboo grove. The tea is nearly ready. You breathe in, slowly, gently. Let the air come in like morning mist over the valley. Hold it. Now breathe out. Let it go like a leaf floating on water. Again, inhale, hold, exhale. Feel your body settle. Feel the chair beneath you, or the cushion, or the earth. Feel the weight of your bones returning to their home. You are safe here. The monk pours water into a small ceramic bowl. He moves with such care, as if the whole world depends on the precision of this one gesture. And in truth, it does. Because nothing else exists now but this moment. This bowl, this tea, this breath. He does not speak. He does not need to. His silence is a deeper kind of language. You watch him prepare the tea leaves. They are green, curled, almost sleeping. He opens the lid of the pot and places them inside. Steam rises. He waits, so do you. There is no hurry in Zen. Outside, a bird calls. Wind hums in the trees. Inside, only breath. Let yourself follow the breath once more. In, soft and slow. Hold, and out, like fog lifting from a pond. Time no longer pulls you forward. You are not in the past. You are not waiting on the future. You are simply here. The monk picks up the teapot. He pours the tea into 2 cups, one for you, one for him. The cup warms your hands. You feel the heat, the smooth curve of the porcelain, the scent of leaves awakening. Before drinking, he bows. You do the same. Then, a sip. It is bitter at first, then soft, then empty, and yet somehow full. You taste the mountain, you taste the rain, you taste time, patient and unhurried. You feel the tea spread through your chest like a quiet sunrise. You feel your spine rise a little taller. Your mind clears. Your shoulders drop. Let go again. With the breath. Let the air rinse you from the inside. You do not need to think. There is no puzzle to solve. Just sit. Just sip. Just be. Chapter 2, Still Water. The monk refills the pot. The fire beneath it crackles softly, the sound like small pebbles tumbling downstream. Outside, the wind quiets. Even the birds have paused. He looks at you but says nothing. Instead, he places a clear bowl in front of you, filled with water. The surface ripples slightly, disturbed by the movement of your breath. Wait, his eyes seem to say. So you do. You sit and breathe. And slowly, the surface stills. You watch it settle, the ripples fade, and you see something that was not visible before, your own reflection. This is what happens to the mind. When stirred, it cannot reflect the world clearly, but when allowed to be still, it reveals everything. You begin to notice the silence between the sounds, the gap between each breath, the stillness beneath the movement. The monk places the second cup of tea in your hand. This one is different, earthier, fuller. It smells like fallen leaves and wet stone. You sip, and the stillness deepens. Let yourself fall into it, like a stone dropped into a bottomless lake. No need to search, no need to grasp. Just fall, just feel, just breathe. Let your thoughts drift past like clouds in the sky. Let them come, let them go. What remains is awareness. What remains is you. Chapter 3, The Sound of Tea. The monk strikes a tiny bell. Just once. Its ring lingers in the room like light on morning dew. You close your eyes. Now listen. There is the wind. There is the fire. There is the sound of the monk's breath and your own. And there is the sound of tea. Drip, drip. The kettle speaks in its own language. The leaves swirl, whispering secrets from faraway mountains. Each bubble of water rising is a story. Each soft splash in the pot is a verse. You hear them, not with your ears alone, but with the space inside you. This is listening, not waiting for your turn to speak, not grasping for meaning, just presence. Let yourself become an ear. Let yourself become the room. Let yourself become the silence that holds the sound. The monk pours another cup. You do not move. You simply hear it happen. The flow, the touch, the pause. Everything is music, even the moments between the notes. You sip again. Now the taste is joined by sound. You hear the warmth. You hear the steam curl. You hear the tea enter you, and your breath joins it. In, out, like waves brushing the edge of a shore. You begin to sense something deeper, that the world is not something outside you. It is not separate. It is you. It breathes with you. It sips with you. It sings in the same quiet key. So breathe. So listen. so receive. And in the space between sound and silence, you begin to understand there is nothing missing. Chapter 4. Awareness is enough. The monk sets down his cup. He folds his hands and closes his eyes. You follow, and in the dark, behind your eyelids, a quiet world opens. There is nothing to fix, nothing to achieve, nothing to become. Just breath, just presence, just being. A thought arises, you notice it, you let it pass. Another comes, you watch it, you do not chase, you do not fight. This too is tea, this too is practice. The monk taught you nothing, and yet you have learned everything. To be here, to see clearly, to accept what is. You breathe in and know you are breathing in. You breathe out and know you are breathing out. No mantra, no meaning, only awareness. The wind has returned. It rustles the bamboo gently, like a lullaby. The fire hums. The pot is nearly empty. Everything comes and goes, but awareness remains. This is not escape. This is not forgetting the world. It is the opposite. It is returning to it, fresh-eyed, open-hearted. You sip again, and now the tea is just tea. The breath is just breath. The moment is enough, and so are you. Chapter 5. Return to the ordinary. The tea is finished. The fire has gone quiet, glowing in soft red embers. The kettle is empty. The steam has vanished. The monk stands and opens the door. Outside, the sky is no longer new. The day has begun. Chickens cluck in the distance. A cart rolls over stones far down the hill. He does not ask you to leave. He does not need to. This is not goodbye. This is the continuation of the same moment. As it changes shape, you bow, he bows, and without a word, you step back into the world. But now the path is different. Not because the stones have changed, but because you have. You walk without hurrying. You hear the sound of your own footsteps. You feel the air on your face. You notice the weight of your breath, still soft, still calm. Nothing has been added, nothing has been taken away, and yet you carry something. Stillness, not as a thing in your hands, but as a space in your chest. Tea has shown you. Life is steeped in silence. And it is not about escaping the noise. It is about remembering the silence within it. You arrive home. The door opens. A voice calls your name. A phone buzzes. A pot boils. The clock ticks. But beneath it all, stillness. You do not react. You respond. You do not rush. You move. You do not perform. You are. This is the return, not to chaos, but to presence within it. You are the tea. You are the breath. You are the stillness. Sip by sip, step by step. As the sun lowers beyond the horizon, we arrive not at an end, but a moment of pause, a breath between what was and what is yet to come. Let us reflect, let us breathe, let us listen to the silence between our thoughts. Whispers in the dusk carry stories we once lived, still warm in our hands. This journey, whether days, weeks, or a fleeting moment, has left fingerprints on our hearts. The kind that don't smudge, but shape us. The wind has spoken in the trees in your still heart. Change comes leaf by leaf. We began with questions, some asked aloud, some held tightly inside, and maybe some were answered. Mountains stood silent, yet within their quiet stone, echoes found our truth. Remember the laughter, how it cracked the shell of formality? Or the tears, gentle offerings from your deepest self? Tears fell like night rain, soaking earth to feed the roots. What blooms comes from this? We discovered parts of ourselves we hadn't met before, parts that waited patiently beneath the noise of our daily lives. Still pond held your face, not as others see but true. Ripples did not lie. There were moments of stillness and moments that broke us open. But in both, we were present, fully, bravely, unapologetically. The fire cracked once more. Shadows danced across your skin. You became the light. As we close, gratitude becomes our final offering. Not for perfection, but for presence. Not for answers, but for the courage to ask. Gratitude does not ask for more than what was shared: breath, time, open hands. Thank you to the moments that stretched us, to the people who held us, to the space that held everything. This floor, these worn walls, they saw us become our truth, unraveled, then whole. We thank silence for teaching us how to listen, and movement for showing us we are still alive. Silence is not void. It holds the pulse of the world beating just for us. And most of all, we thank ourselves for choosing to be here, for daring to show up, and for staying. To stay is to trust, the soft unfolding of soul, blooming in still soil. Now we let go of what didn't serve, of what we no longer need to carry. This is not erasure, but release. Hands that held too much open now to give and breathe. Freedom in the fall. Release the guilt, the should-have-beens, the weight of expectation. One breath, just enough to send the ache to the sea. Watch it not return. Let go, too, of the fear that you are not enough, that your voice is too small, that your love is not returned. Stars don't beg to shine, they just do, and still we watch. So too must you burn. There is a freedom in closure and an even greater freedom in knowing the story is not over. Even when it ends, the echo lives in the walls, calling us forward. We may part ways, but what we've shared is a thread woven in the quiet fabric between us. Thread of memory, invisible yet holding all we cannot say. The next time you feel alone, remember the sound of shared breath, the circle, the warmth, the eyes that saw you fully. In every goodbye, there's a hidden see you soon waiting to be heard. What we created together cannot be undone. It lives in gestures, in smiles, in the invisible tether of knowing you belonged here. The moment you knew you were not walking alone, that changed everything. And so, we turned toward the horizon, eyes open, heart open, hands ready. New paths wait ahead, unwritten, unknown, but yours. Step, even trembling. Take what you've learned, not as armor, but as compass. Lessons etched in bone are not meant to weigh you down. They point to your north. And when doubt comes again, as it always does, remember this. You've already walked through fire. You've already stood tall in storms. You are not who you were. You are becoming. You are the season, changing yet always rooted. Breathe into your shift. As we prepare to leave this space, may you carry a little softness with you, a little stillness, a little spark of all you uncovered here. Carry this moment like a warm stone in your palm, smooth from being held. And when the noise returns, when the world tugs at your edges, may you return to this breath, to this memory, to yourself. Inhale your courage. Exhale the fear that lingers. Begin once again. This was not just a closing, it was a blooming. A soft, sacred beginning of what's next. Not the final page, just the end of a chapter, pen still in your hand. Be well, be kind, be you. May your next sunrise be colored with what you found in the dusk of now.